I would like to acknowledge the Jagera people of the Yungaburn Nation, who are the traditional custodians of the land I live on. I would also like to honour and pay my respects to the elders both past and present of the Yungaburn Nation, and I extend that respect to any Indigenous Australians that are viewing this. I grew up and have spent the majority of my life in Wynnum, the land of the Quandamooka people, which includes the tribe Kupinal. Wynnum is named after the Kupinal word for pandanus breadfruit tree, which aligns the beaches and playgrounds I spent many weekends playing at as a child. Wynnum is one of the few Indigenous Australian names for the suburb that remains in the Moreton Bay district. At the primary school I attended while I lived in Wynnum, Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander cultures was highly respected and valued. One example is how our 3 sport teams depicted different elements of nature and were named after Indigenous Australian language words for animals. Buwangan the dolphin to represent the water, Carney the field-necked lizard to represent the earth, and Marigimpa the sea eagle to represent the sky. Indigenous Australian cultures was acknowledged and valued in Wynnum. Throughout my primary school, artwork along the jetty at the Wynnum Esplanade and through the pandanus trees which the suburb was named after. 8 months ago, I moved to Logan Central, and I was shocked as well as frustrated to find it so difficult to find any representation of Indigenous Australian culture. Whether it was because I was not searching in the right places due to my lack of knowledge, or because Logan was dominated by Western culture, I found little implications that Indigenous Australian culture was merely valued where I now live. I was amazed to find numerous public art displays in my local area through Logan City Council, Public Art and Heritage Trails brochures. But how could the council call these walks heritage trails if there was barely any acknowledgement of the Jagera people and their history and culture? Through my studies, I can answer these questions. Since the British invaded Australia in 1788, European ways of life have been assimilated and forced onto Indigenous Australians in aims to wipe out their culture. This was achieved through forms of oppression, which includes, and is not limited to, dispossession of land, loss of basic human rights, slavery, and genocide. After spending most of my life in Wynnum, where Indigenous Australian culture was highly respected and valued, I believed Australia was changing for the better, that we as a nation were all beginning to reconcile by building trust and unity between Indigenous and non-Indigenous Australians. I now realise how naive my understanding was because I have learnt the truth. How do we even begin to rebuild what has been lost for Indigenous Australians if we are not simply recognising their culture to the public? Through my studies and improved understanding of the oppression Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander peoples have faced since 1788, I aim to work towards becoming an anti-oppressive ally. Despite Western culture currently dominating Australia, I hope that together we can work towards a future that unifies and brings harmony to all cultures. If there is any hope for reconciliation, we must start now.